All right, y'all. Time to start on the next project. It's not a mini truck, but it's kind of close, I guess. It does go up and down. So, my buddy John, he brings a lot of vehicles over here. Had this car for about a week. I already done a few things to it, but I didn't film. I had this big lift kit come in for this big Dodge, and we started on it. And got the lift kit done, but we ran into a clearance issue on the back with the rear inner tires are hitting the U-bolt hangers, or U-bolt, the plates, the bottom plates for the U-bolt. They're on the top on a Dodge, and they're hitting the side of the tires. So I had to order some half-inch spacers for that. Waiting on that to come in, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this car in here and jump on it. 86 Monte Carlo SS, super nice car. John picked this thing up in Pigeon Forge, and had some 20s on it. He wants to put these Ruchis on it. These are 24s. They're staggered. Looks like the front's 9, the rears are 10. Very nice car, man. This thing's got a cammed all up LS motor in it. Get this hood to stay up. Whoever done a real good job. It's got AC compressor and all that on it. All the AC works. I just don't know a whole lot about it. It does say it is LS1, and it's got the 853 heads on it, which is like the, I believe, not like 98 Camaro, maybe a Corvette, I don't know. But like I say, car's already bagged. It's got half-inch lines and half-inch valves, and it is like hella fast. But, man, y'all check out this car, how clean it is. He's got a matching steering wheel I'm gonna stick in. It's got a old school switch box mounted to the console, and he's got 212s in here that he wants me to put in the trunk. The problem is this thing has got a big air management setup in the trunk. It's got like a 12 or 15 gallon tank. It's huge. 4 Vire 480s, and all the valves are on the tank, and there's wires just going everywhere. But the speaker box physically will not fit right here. So I'm either gonna have to pull the tank completely out, which is probably gonna be my easiest option, and leave the valves hooked to it and just pull the tank out enough to get the speaker box in and then put everything back in. But they've already, John and them tried it themselves. They already pulled some fittings and stuff loose, so it's got a leak now. I haven't dove in yet to figure it out, but he wants me to fix all the leaks, get the speaker box in, and the front frame, we had this thing on the lift. The front frame was cracked. Somebody cut it out, the spring pockets out for the front airbags with a cutoff wheel, and they made a 90-degree cut, and it split off that cut and went all the way up the frame on one side. So we're gonna pull it in, pick it up, get all that. I'm gonna grind all that out, weld it, and then I'm gonna plate it so nobody ever has any trouble with it. Other than that, the car looks good under the bottom. This thing was sitting low with the 20s on it, but with these 24s, they, you know, John likes the big wheels. I like the big wheels too. They don't fit really good as far as to get under the fenders, to tuck. The front's fine. The back is, he had to put a little bit of a wheel spacer on there. And then I went back earlier this week and put longer wheel studs in it, because the wheel studs that was in there was not long enough. So we knocked all those out, put some longer wheels in, got the rear wheels bolted on good. Front wheels appear to be fine. I'm gonna check those though and just make sure that I don't need to put longer studs on the front. But first I'm gonna pull it in and go ahead and tackle the speaker box and fight with that for a little while and see if I can clean some of this wiring up, just make it look a little bit better. I will say, man, this thing about hop off the ground when you pick it up with 160 PSI in it. So I just unhooked the pressure switch because there's not a toggle switch on the inside. That way the compressors would cut off, and well, let's get after it.
Burn it down. Burn it down. We gon' burn it down. burn it down. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it.
This is proving to be more of a pain in the ass than I was expecting. And now that I have pretty much every airline fitting on the air tank took loose, I get to replumb the whole car. Yay. It don't help that I've had a freaking migraine since 4 a.m. this morning. So, well, if it's go inside and take me a break for a few minutes. Come back with a fresh head. Alright, so here's the dilemma. I took the air tank loose. I took all the valves except one set out of the air tank. I took the compressor loose. Moved the air tank. Took the compressor loose from the tank. Moved the air tank farther. Got the speaker box in there. It physically will not fit in that hole. It is 1/4 of an inch too tall. This is how my Monday morning's going. Well, I called John though and I told him, and he said, let me round you up a speaker box and see if we can find something. So I, being the retard that I am, I didn't measure it first because I just kind of assumed.
You should never assume, because when you assume, you make an ass of you and me.
They had measured it, but they didn't. So here I am. Got all this took loose, and the speaker box doesn't fit. And I can't move it until I rewire it and plumb it because it's sitting on the tires. So, hope it don't work. So, show you what we was talking about. Whoever bagged this car, they come in here with a cutoff wheel and made a 90, and it split from that 90 and went up the frame. It's starting on this side. There's also a weld seam there, factory weld seam, and it's splitting. This side has split up to the factory weld and stopped. It's going to be a pain to get to, but I'm probably going to pull this brake line off here. It runs up under the oil pan, over the top of the frame, and hooks up right here for the passenger side caliper. Probably going to pull that off and get it out of my way because it's going to be in the way on both sides. Going to have to bleed the brakes, but it is what it is. I would rather me have to fight and bleed brakes one time than somebody buy this car and get hurt because the frame broke in half on it. Other than that, everything under it looks pretty good. It's got some electric exhaust cutouts. It's got a nice swap cross member and all in it. It's got the big oil pan. Fits around this cross member perfectly. Also, I've got a spot right here. The bag has been rubbing the frame. I'm gonna pull this bag out and cut a little bit more off right there, just to clearance it. All right, so I got my brake line pulled off. Just got it plugged there with a shop towel, trying to keep it from dripping on me. I got both the front airbags pulled out, which was, whoa, it was fun. Got those pulled out. I'm gonna start with the easy side over here. Got my roll lock. Just gonna get in here and try to clean as much of this crap off as I can. Give me a good weld on this side. And then I'm also gonna go through the spring pocket and weld on the other side too. And then I'm gonna try to weld some kind of plate in here. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do just yet. But I'm gonna do the easy side first and then leave the hard side. I'm gonna have to get a hammer in here somehow. There ain't really a whole lot of room. Beat that back down and see how good I can weld it up. It looks like there was a couple holes in the frame up here from the factory, and it split through those, and now there's a gigantic hole there. So anyway, we'll try to get that undone, and I'll show y'all in just a few minutes. So I got this crack, put a weld in there. The factory weld was here, the crack stopped at it. So just started right there, made me a pool, come down, brought it over because the crack jotted over. Welded it on the inside. The top corner up there had a little crack, went ahead and caught it, welded it. And then over here on this side at the front, under the brake line bracket, it was cracked. About 2 inches long. I went ahead and welded it up. So I got this welded, and then I got me some 1/4 inch plate here. I cut me a relief in it where I could bend it. And I'm just gonna stick it up there and weld it all the way around, weld this seam up, and that should brace that up pretty good. Going from freaking 1/8 inch thick metal to 1/8 with quarter overlapping. So look like I'm gonna do a little bit more grinding there. I didn't grind over quite far enough. It's kind of aggravating to get into there. Can't get the grinder in there at all, so I had to do it with a little roll lock. Get that piece welded in, get it all painted up. We should be good to go. So I got this burn in. You can see how I did this. Welded all the way around. Welded the cut mark up that I welded, and yeah, well, it's still kind of hot. There's also a cut mark right there. I'm gonna weld that back up. I didn't notice it till I done took my hood off. I'm gonna just spot weld that back up to keep it from cracking further. And I think this side's done. This was the easy side. Now I gotta do this hard side. But 2 o'clock, gotta go get my kid from school, so I'll work on it when I get back. So got that side welded up before I had to leave, go get my kid. This side, I got it beat back down right here where I can get a weld on it. You saw it a while ago, it was really gapped open. The crack actually goes all the way to the top of the freaking frame there, and it was splitting off and going over to this factory weld. So I'm gonna weld all that, and then I'll probably just plate this whole thing and go from this lower control arm bracket over to this cross member. Just plate this whole thing, weld all the way around it, and hopefully that'll stiffen it up enough it won't have no more trouble with it. I can't, it's really tight in here. I can't get in here and get this closed up anymore. But I wish I could, and I may keep trying it before I weld anything up, but we'll see. So, got this side. This side I put a bigger plate in. It goes all the way over to the control arm pocket here. This side is welded over the top of the factory seam, which was kind of hard to get a good weld on. And then I had to like basically spot weld the bottom because there was a big old gap. I got it welded. I can't really get to the top. I'm fixing to let it down and see if I can get to it from up there. Maybe so, but the splitting was starting at the bottom and going up, so maybe even without the top welded, maybe that should help it a lot. Hey, look, there's my hoodlum. What you been doing?
Riding you around.
Oh, you did ride me around for a minute.
Yeah.
What you got, my phone charger? Thank you.
Why does it do that?
I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna paint this thing up, put this brake line back on, and stick these
We'll do backflips.
Put these airbags back in.
No.
So got the airbags all back in, got them plumbed up, got them turned where they're not gonna rub anything. I actually ended up on the passenger side. I didn't have to notch any more of the frame. I just turned the cup and got the bag away from it a little bit more. They notched plenty, but they didn't have the cup was offset, so they had it turned where it was pushing back and rubbing on the frame. I just turned it a little bit farther away from it, checked all the clearances. Looks good. So all that's fixed finally. Spray painted everything. Next issue is they got some slide over wheel spacers on it. I'm gonna try to put the wheel on without it, but I don't know why they have these on there. But because those are on there, the studs aren't long enough. They were only like a one good full rotation. And I'm not letting it leave here like that because I'm not cool on, you know, letting people be in a position to die because I didn't want to put wheel studs in the car. So I'm gonna check and see if I can get the wheel on there without them. If I can't, I've got to pull this hub apart, knock these studs out, put longer studs in, and put it back together. So got all the wheel studs changed in the front too. This thing had a little spacer on it because the wheel, it fits over the hub. At the very end of the hub, there's a little lip, makes the hub centric. It wouldn't fit over that. I don't know why, but it don't fit. So I went and got some longer wheel studs, same ones I put in the back. I put them in the front. That got the wheels bolted on securely instead of one round. I got the frame finish plated. I'm gonna paint. There's a bunch of overspray right up under the rocker panel on the frame. I'm gonna paint all that black, and I'm waiting on them to bring me a different speaker box for the trunk. And once that gets here, put it in and plumb all the airbags, and I think this whole thing will be ready to get out of here. All right, so this is the next day. The speaker box yesterday, you seen the situation, it wouldn't fit. So John got with me this morning. I got a different box. It's kind of slanted. It's got 2 10s in it. It fit in there no problem. I don't even think we'd had to pull any of this out to get it in there. But it's in there. I run a wire for them to hook up on the back of the box over to this amp. And I'm putting all the air management stuff back in. The compressors, they had these, when you buy Vire compressors, they come with a hose to relocate the air filter up to a dry spot. They had these run all up in the quarter panel way up here. It's in the trunk. It's not going to get wet. I don't really understand why they did that, but spent the last few minutes taking them out. I got all the valves put back in the tank. I got to wire all those up. Once I get those wired up, I can power this system on, make sure everything doesn't leak. If it leaks, we're going to take it apart and fix it, because that's one of the issues he was having with this car, was it was leaking down. Like overnight, the compressor, when you got it next morning, you kick it on, the compressors would run and didn't have enough air to pick itself up. So we're going to see if we can figure out that issue. And then all this wire loom that I pulled off, I'm going to hide all these wires. I'm going to try to do a little bit better job of cleaning it up. And with these 8 valves, man, it's really hard to make it look extremely good. As where with a valve block, you just got one plug coming out. Looks a whole lot better. But, yeah, that's where I'm at this morning. So, show y'all whenever we get it back on the ground. All right, I also want to show y'all, this is the wires coming in from the switch box. It's different colors, 8 different colors there. I didn't mark any of it. What I did is I just cut it back far enough from where they had these clips, each color. It makes it real easy, just match them up. I didn't cut the number 1 set of valve blocks here, which would be the front left. I didn't cut those wires loose, so I only got 6 to wire up. The black ones, just the grounds. And then you see each one of these, I just left a little piece of wire in there, and it makes it real easy to wire back up. So instead of getting tape out, marking each one, it's a lot easier and faster way to do it. Well, got it all wired and plumb back up, and the one bit that I didn't take loose is leaking. Actually, that third one right there seems to have a couple bubbles on it too. I checked all the rest of the fittings on the tank. Nothing on the tank seems to be leaking. Built in air like it's supposed to. There's no gauges on the east corner, so it's kind of a guessing game. Just gonna sit it down on its full weight and air it all the way up, and let it sit there for a few minutes and see if it leaks down bad. Probably gonna have to fix that number 1. I know it looks like it's leaking pretty good. All right, so got done. Got it built up air pressure. I marked it there to see if the tank was leaking. As you can see, it's already leaked down a little bit. Sprayed every fitting on it. Nothing's leaking. Not a single fitting has got an air bubble coming out of it. But, show you how to check these compressors right here. So, you take the air filter out, you stick your thumb over it, count to 10. I'm gonna do the quick version, and I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. I don't know. Hear the air coming out? That means the check valve on this leader hose is not sealing up all the way. So it's leaking back through the hose and out the head of the compressor. If you've been dealing with airbags for a while, you know, you're familiar with this issue. Tank leaks down, none of the fittings leak, can't figure out where it's leaking from. And come to find out, it's these fine, high quality Vire check valves. I happen to have some retired 485s off Chandler's truck. He put a new set on it a while back, and they're actually in the back of my scrap metal truck over there. I'm fixing to dig those out, get me a leader hose off it, and put on here, and see if that fixes the leaking down issue. So sometimes you get frustrated, you can't figure out where the leak is. You check all the fittings, nothing's leaking. Check the compressors, because more than likely, if you got a Vire compressor, or even worse, if you got an Air Max or some eBay compressor, is even worse than the Vire sometimes. Check that. Like I say, you just stick your finger over it, count to about 10, and here, we'll show you again. And I checked all the rest of them. This is the only one that's leaking. All the rest of them are sealed up, so maybe that helps somebody find a leak. All right, so got the old leader hose changed out. Put a new one on, just let it build up pressure. It's got about 110 in it. And checked it, it's no longer leaking. Wired the subs up. They're working. Just check those. I got a couple more things to do. I'm going to air it up and paint the frame. You can see the frame under the rocker panels, and they painted it whenever they painted the car, so it's silver. And paint that black where to go away. And he's got a matching steering wheel to go in this car. Fixing to stick it in there real quick. And it'll be time to wash this thing up. Send it out of here. All right, so he's got the matching steering wheel. There's a ton of videos online that shows you how to change steering wheel. I'm not going to get in depth with it. I got a steering wheel puller. I bought it from O'Reilly's. You just got a centerpiece that goes in here. I got one more bolt going to thread down in there. You tighten on this bolt, pull the steering wheel right off. Put that one back on, tighten the nut. Voila. I got the steering wheel locked straight. The front wheels are straight. That way I can put this one on and get it straight. It's got a Ritchie symbol at the bottom, so we're just going to put it right here at the bottom. And the center cap, the center horn button is, you know, you kind of put it in wherever. The horn actually worked on this thing because I blowed it about 400 times trying to get that center piece out. But I'll show you what it looks like installed. Ta-da! And just like that, one pulled steering wheel. When it first breaks loose, you can't tell if it's stripped or if it come loose. It's kind of terrifying, especially when it ain't your vehicle. And there you have it. I'm gonna be honest, I personally like the factory SS steering wheel better, but it ain't my car. And yeah, bling bling. I do like this half wrap though, because from a person who has full billet on their steering wheel, they suck in cold and hot weather. Show you what we was talking about here. This is the frame. The car's been painted at some point, and they didn't take the frame off. They just painted it silver, and all the paint's chipping off. So what I'm gonna do, I got it taped off. I'm just gonna spray it flat black, or well, actually this is a gloss black with just spray paint, Rust-Oleum, and kind of make it go away all the way back to here where it didn't get paint on it. We'll just spray a little coat on both sides and just clean it up. I already done the fender wells and everything when I had the tires off, so this was all that's left. And gone. It's all black. Out of sight, out of mind. We out here cruising. I didn't realize the speedometer doesn't work. Everything else works, tack and all. I can't ride low because the wheels are so big. I'm not really used to driving a back vehicle around really high off the ground. But all in all, it rides pretty good. It doesn't have shocks in the front. I noticed going out my driveway, it was bouncing a little bit, but out on the road, it's actually really smooth. No complaints whatsoever so far, except how fast the actual airbags are. It's really hard to adjust. It's either up or down. Had to play with it to get a good ride height. But all in all, it rides pretty good. It's about out of gas. I'm fixing to go put some gas in it and grab me some lunch and wash it off, and I'll go pick my kid up from school in it and bring it back to the house, load it up on the trailer, take it back to John if he's ready for it. So, kid, what do you think?
I like it.
You like it? It rides good on it. Surprisingly, it rides really good to have such a small tire.
Small.
Yeah, these tires are small. Not the wheel, the small tire.
Okay.
And picked her up from school in it. It was making a little noise, and all the little kids looking at her. Well, that ain't nothing new. That ain't nothing new, is it? Alright, well, I got it washed, cleaned up, picked my kid up. We about to go put it on the trailer and get this thing back to John. Tell him bye.
Bye.
I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker.
Show them. Change the station with a new shit. show them. Change the station with a new shit. Change the station. Change the station. Change the station with a new shit. With a new shit. Change the station. Change the station. Change the station with a new shit. With a new shit.
It's murder. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker.
I killed it. I killed it. I killed it.
I killed it. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder.
Go crazy, berserker.
Road trip necessities, huh?